yarn of the weekend, lads. Obviously, Magic Round just gone. Myself and Elliot found ourselves coming back from the Caxton Hotel in the early hours of the morning, and there was some events that unfolded. So obviously went out, a bit of a big one on the beers, went to Fanland, met a bunch of other creators, and then obviously onto the Caxton from there for a bit of fun. So, DV on the end just decided, I think after the last game he was ready to go home. We're like, sweet, we'll catch you later. Love you, bro, of course, but we just wanted to kick it a bit. Anyway, leave the Caxton about 1 a.m, and we're walking to Roman Street Station to catch the train home. Now, the first ordeal of the night, we see a 7-Eleven across the road. And of course, in an absolute rugby league state, we're like, some hot box food sounds great. So we go into the 7-Eleven. We're literally just standing there, cracking jokes with a couple of the other boys in there. Some dude just walks in, grabs a sausage roll, and just walks out in front of us. Doesn't pay for it. In full view of everyone else. Just doesn't pay for this.
You have one guess to guess what his team kit was.
Eels.
Nah, Manly.
Awesome.
Anyway, all the blokes that are standing there are like gobsmacked with us, and we're just like, bro, you got to pay for that. Bro doesn't even leave the scene. He just starts loitering out the front.
He's loitering out the front of the crime scene.
Anyway. So then we're like, we'll just walk to Central Station and catch the train. At this stage, we realise how low on battery our phones. I think Elliot's phone was already dead at this point, and I've realised I've got 7% on my phone, and we're like, yikes. So we're like, all right, we'll get to the station, whatever, we'll just get home. Pull up to Central Station. We realise there's no trains back to Sandgate, and we're like, oh. So we're like, we'll just go to Northgate, and we'll just catch a rail bus, we'll be fine, whatever. So we get on the train, and at this stage, sort of sobered up a little bit, but still, in a bit of a state. Chugged the water, whatever, ready for bed, getting sleepy after some food and some water. We get to Northgate Station, and we go to where the rail buses are, and we wait. We're like, 18 minutes to kill, we'll just go for a walk, come back after our walk, a couple of minutes before, when we wait. The rail bus doesn't rock up.
Oh, no.
At which stage my phone, I'm looking, is on 2%. And I'm like, oh, yeah, here we go. Anyway, and so we're there, and we're waiting with this lady, this mum of some sort, I don't know. And she's like, this is like 5 minutes late. What are we doing? So we're like, okay, we'll give them, she'll give them a call. And we were like, my phone's on 2%. Elliot's is dead. We're not going to give him a call. She's like, give him a call for us. So she just goes on the phone and starts like absolutely giving it to this poor lady on the other end. Like,
with the periodic, look, I know it's not your fault specifically, but it's just not going to.
And just like, I'm going to wake someone up at early hours of the morning, whatever. And at this point, I'm like looking at Elliot. We're like, do we just book the Uber? Like, do we just book it? Tried with 2%, whatever.
And there was a fleeting hope of like, she was like, so what are you going to do? Are you going to send out a taxi for us? I was like, surely it's like a 10 or 20% chance that they actually send the taxi. So should we hang around? She just kept abusing for like minutes and minutes and minutes. And we were like, I guess we're just.
And we're waiting
packing it up
at the bottom of this ramp at Northgate Station. And we're like,
it's raining.
We're trying to go up, but we're like, we don't want to leave this poor lady like isolated or whatever.
Yeah.
Then she goes through the process of trying to put in a formal complaint.
Oh my God.
At which point we're just like, we're going, so we just walk up the ramp. And we get to the top, and my phone dies as I'm booking the Uber. And we're like, oh no. Like we are in rugby league trouble here.
It was shaping up as a walk home from Northgate.
So we're weighing up our options. By the way, to the viewers out there who might not be too familiar with Brisbane, to our house is like a solid probably 3 hour walk, maybe 2 to 3 hour walk from where we are.
Probably, yeah.
It was on the cards. So we're looking, and my phone's dead. Elliot's phone's dead. I'm trying to do the restart and just praying it comes back on with a bit of life. It just gives me the cord symbol. I'm like, oh no, it's actually dead. We get to the top of the ramp, and there's like the train security. We're like, we're saved. So I go over. I'm like, is there anywhere we could charge our phone? And they're like, not at this time of night. Then this lovely security lady's like, I'll give the taxi. Did you want to give a taxi a call? Because Elliot still had his card with him, so he's going to pay for a taxi, whatever. Well, life-saving.
In the meantime, there's this absolute other Richard McGee who
train
comes up. He's trying to
conductor.
find us a train back home. And we're like, we're trying to explain to him that like we've tried the rail buses, the Shorncliffe line's been terminated, and then he's trying to find us a train.
Or he's trying to direct us back to the city, and we're like, no, we don't want to go to the city. Like,
We've got
we wanna
Magic
go-
Round jerseys on.
we
We've
want to
come
go
from
home. We want to go home. Like, yeah. Anyway, so he'll come back into the story in a little bit, Richard.
Yeah. Anyway,
So
back to the lovely lady.
we get to the lovely lady, and she gives me her phone. She's like, jokingly, like, you're not going to run away with it. We're like, oh, we could. But nah.
Jokes probably weren't the best time.
No,
not the time.
probably not. But obviously, at this stage, we're just like vying to go home. So I'm calling the taxi, and then Richard from the bottom of the stairs in the taxi rank is like, guys, there's a taxi down here. We'll just get him to call you another one, whatever. And so I hang up on this lady's phone, and I'm like, thank you so much for trying. We'll just go like down to the
Yeah,
taxi
let's
and
go
get him
with
to
it.
call us another one. Now, Richard, who was trying to be so helpful, turned into like the uttermost disgusting dickhead you've ever met in your life.
Genuine Derek,
they're literally going to Sandgate Station. There's two of them in the taxi.
No, wait. We've got to layer this yarn. So we get to the window, and obviously, like, a man was driving the car, and he's like, oh, I can't call. Like, it's too busy. It's too busy. And then we're like, oh, like, why? Like, why is it too busy or whatever? And then we're like, oh, is there a chance we could jump in with you? Because they're going to
Station.
where we're going.
Yeah. And so Richard just is like, no. They're not getting in. No, they can't get in our taxi. Just call them another one. Just call them another one to this taxi driver. And the taxi driver's like trying to explain to Richard again, who must just not understand the concept of life at this point, that he can't call them because they're busy. Which is partly probably true, but also partly he just didn't want to have to call.
And then again, the taxi driver initiates, and he's like, oh, can they just jump in? And Richard is like, no, as he's winding up the window, just like telling the driver to like, drive off.
So they drive off, and we're like to ourselves, oh my gosh, like what's this happening? We're like, we need to go find the security lady again to call us another one. She's disappeared. They've gone home. They've gone home.
She was apparently in the act of leaving her shift while she was giving us this
Richard.
absolute lifeline. And then Richard has absolutely wooed us into a dead end.
Was it just him in a taxi on his own?
No, there's one other train
other
conductor,
dude.
but like there was
There's two
plenty of
spare
room,
seats.
bro, and a boot.
Anyway.
Anyway, and so we're like, oh, whatever. And then we're like, wait, we don't actually know the phone number for like the cab service. I'd never call cabs. So we're like,
We found the payphone outside.
yeah, there's a payphone. We're like waiting there. Anyway, we're like, oh, we might actually like at this point it's setting in that there might be a walk home in front of us.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, this other train conductor walks out, and we're like, oh, like debating going up to him because after our experience with Richard, we were a bit taken aback. We're like, maybe not.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we go up to this bloke, and we're like, bro, can you like look up for us like the
Black and white cabs.
The black and white cabs. He's like, oh, what? He's like, cool, confused. Didn't speak the greatest English, so maybe sort of come over here for a job or whatever.
All we were asking for was the number for the black and white cabs, the simplest number.
Bro, he whips out the work phone, starts scrolling through the contacts.
His own
list.
contacts.
Like he'd have the cab service.
I'm like, bro, I'm looking to Ben, and this is the most generational lock-in moment I've ever had because I want to just like, I'm doing like, but
Like Mitch Marsh with the pumpkin soup level.
genuinely. But then I'm like, if I start laughing at him, he's probably just gonna like leave. I'm like, we need this.
So he scrolls through the contact list. It takes like a minute, and he's all confused. He puts that one in the pocket. He pulls out the personal phone and
personal
phone.
one.
take a guess what he does. He
Goes to the
goes back to
contacts?
the contact list and he keeps searching. At this stage, bro, I'm stifling a laugh like I've never
Bro,
stifled it in
I
my
genuinely had to remove myself from the situation. I had to go for a walk, bro.
So he's like scrolling on the phone. Anyway, and then he's like, he's defeated. And he goes to Google, and you might not have seen this, bro.
Nah, probably not.
But it's the most like grandpa one finger typing you've ever seen. Like, search up black and white cabs, and he pulls up the website. And there's like that, you know, when there's the green button and you hit call and then it shows you the phone number on all your Apple phones. just scrolls straight past it. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, is it my place to just tell him to just hit that? And I was like, oh, I won't do it, whatever. He's like looking up and down, scrolls all the way down to the bottom of the website. It was all the way back up. Anyway, eventually he found it. He didn't even find it with the button, so I don't know what he did, but he did something. And he's like, oh, here's the number. And we're like, yeah, sweet, sweet. Bro, he gets in his car, he's about to drive off, and I looked at Elliot, I'm like, bro, what was the number again? Like, I completely just forgot. Thankfully, Elliot rememred. So
I don't often remember.
That's a miracle that Elliot remembered. Can't lie.
we get on the public phone. We call the taxi, and then like in this time, some young guys rocked up and left, and we were like, oh, we're not asking them for whatever. And then this lovely lady, this lady from earlier who was helping us with the rail bus on the phone.
Oh yeah.
Finally finished putting in a 400-word complaint to Queensland Rail, asking for feedback. And then someone, I don't know, partner, son, something like that, comes to pick her up. And we're like calling out like, oh, can we just do a favor? Like, can we charge in your car, whatever? Blah, blah, blah. She's like, yeah, absolutely. Like, what sort of charger? And we're like, Apple. She's like, oh, no, we've only got Samsung. Gets in the car and drives off and just leaves us stranded. And we're like, oh, my goodness, we're actually in trouble here.
At least we had the cab coming at that point, but it was like, if we got the charger, at least we could probably like
book an Uber. And we said that to each other. We're like, oh, well, if we charge, we're just going to book an Uber and ditch the cab. Anyway, this cab rocks up and we're like, oh, we're safe. Like, let's go, whatever.
As it pulls in, it's a genuine maxi, by the way. So I was like,
good stuff.
We're going to get stinged. He's going to run the meter and it's just going to be an absolute terrible time.
Yeah.
So he opens the back door for us and I'm like, pop my head in. I'm like, hey, mate. He's like, you guys order a taxi? And you reckon he said for Clint?
I reckon he said taxi for Clint.
Oh, I didn't hear this. So I'm just like...
I was like, oh, what?
I was like, yeah, bro. Like, can we just get a quote to Sandgate? Because obviously we mentioned that he was going to sting us. He's like, no, pay for. And I was like thinking to myself, like, what do you mean pay for?
Yeah.
That's what I thought I heard.
No quote, pay for.
And then we get, so he's like, oh, no, already paid for. Get in. And we're like, what do you mean it's already paid? We're like, oh, we're not going to turn down this.
And then I'm ticking back. I'm like, has Clint paid for this thing? And we've just absolutely pirated Clint's maxi.
No.
So we get in the maxi and we're like, I check with him where we go. And it's like, oh, to Sandgate Station, right? And we're like, yeah. That'll do.
Oh my days.
So we get there and he's driving and this bloke like clearly must have been like, I'm guessing Southside because he didn't know where he was going. He kept making all the wrong turns and stuff. Me and Elliot in the back are like whispering to each other, like, what have we done? Like, have we stolen someone's taxi? Like, we didn't mean to. We didn't know it was paid for.
No.
Anyway, in the time, I think we've deduced that it was a Queensland Rail taxi that was supposed to take the last of their people back to Sandgate Station. And we've stolen this taxi. And then our one that's not paid for is going to rock up. And they're going to be so confused. But we didn't know because we're already in the taxi and we couldn't tell the bloke to turn around. So I'm seeing on the dashboard like $44 and we're like, oh, that's a bit. But like, you know what? You'd pay it to get home right now.
Yeah, obviously.
So we get to Sandgate Station and he's like, oh, thank you. Have a good night. We're like, oh, do we need to pay for it? It's like, no, paid for. And then he charges it to the Queensland Rail account. No. And we get out of the taxi and we're like, geez, what a night. Like it just topped off the night. Yeah. And then we just walked home. So
you robbed a taxi in the end.
We just didn't know, bro.
Oh, what a shocker.
But I was also thinking, surely our taxi would have rocked up in the time that we were going home.
Yeah.
So like, would he have then gotten a call? I don't know. I guess maybe not.
Oh, to add to this, bro, I'm at the top of my street up the road. Bro, this maxi is driving past. And I see him way down. He's at like a roundabout and he like fangs a turnaround. And I'm like, oh no, is this bloke coming back to me about to like scream at me or whatever? Oh. Like obviously just drunk thoughts. Like I don't think he'd ever do that. But anyway, yeah, I was just like thinking to myself, like, what's going on here? Bro, he starts driving towards me and I'm like, oh no. So I've like grabbed the jumper, I've zipped it up, trying to like be a bit conspicuous. Obviously in a rugby league state still at this point. Bro, he pulls up on the diagonal, like a couple of houses in front of me in their driveway. And I'm like, oh, nah, I'm actually cooked here. Like, I'm about to get an absolute earful. Phone's dead. Don't have the credit card to pay for it. I've literally got only my phone and my car keys and my house keys on it. Bro, he turns around. And I was like, oh.
He's just doing a U-turn.
He was just doing a U-turn.
What's the chances he just like pulls it in front of you?
The heart is pumping. But yeah, I was just like, oh my God. But yeah, anyway, that wraps up the yarn of the weekend. But I'll tell you what, it was good fun. It's one of those memories you look back on and you're like, I just created a bit of dad lore there. So
Yeah.
Expect a call from Queensland Rail because you robbed their taxi.
And now we've
Well, we
just
didn't know.
incriminated ourselves.
we didn't know. And you know what? The bloke at the taxi driver hustled us into the car. Like literally just said, get in without like clarifying what was going on. Because if we had known, we wouldn't have taken the taxi, obviously. But we kind of worked it out when we were in the taxi and we're like, oh, well, we can't really ask him to turn around.
Hello and welcome back to SC Blueprint, everybody. Magic round done and dusted. Shall we just begin with the hat ceremony and then we can just get into recaps of just feelings and all the rest?
Let's give it a go.
All right, start reaching.
Ooh.
He's done it. The King's back, lads, let's be honest. For the second time this season, I think. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done, mate.
take of that of what you will.
Pretty tight week, though, all round, right?
Yeah, very tight.
Righty.
I guess we'll get to scores in a second, but how do we feel about Magic Round, lads? Do we think it was a success or a bit underwhelming?
I think it was one of the poorer Magic rounds in a while, to be honest.
I probably tend to agree.
I think the atmosphere was up a bit. Like the non-Supercoach or rugby league, like there was a lot of people about. Caxton was busy. People were out and about.
It's always pumping. It always delivers from that aspect,
I think it was pretty standard from that aspect. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, they just messed themselves up with the games. They just didn't pick good high-ceiling matchups.
I mean, Broncos Wires is probably going to be. Everyone thought
was
it was
supposed
game
to be
of the
the game
round,
of the round,
and
yeah.
then the Wires just blew our back out. So
Well, actually happened.
yeah,
Actually happened. There was only one real good game all weekend.
which was Roosters Cowboys. Are
Yeah.
we in agreement with that? Yes.
Yeah. Alrighty, I'll start as per. I got 1,268 this week. It's a little bit under, I think. I think it'll be a small red. But not a terrible week at all. Captain Cleary was bailed out in the end by that 77. So I continue my streak of no shocking captains, which is cool. I used a boost to bring in Kalen Ponga, which ended up really not being worth it at all when he got 64. So that's a bit of a shame. I sat both Lukey and Chester, which was okay. I mean, like KLR got less, but I was never not going to play.
Yeah,
RO.
exactly.
So that's just life. Bostock was pretty good. Nico finally repaid. When I say finally, I mean I've only had him 2 weeks. 1 week was bad, 1 week was good. But it did feel nice to see Nico get some points to make up from last week. That was good stuff. And then my only other trade-in was Halasima, who was just okay. I bought him in for buy coverage, and I mean, as we'll get onto, looks like that's not going to be needed anymore, necessarily anyway. So, yeah, a bit of a down the middle week. Just basically maintaining the spot, which you never like to see when you boost. Like,
Yeah.
but that's is what it is.
Oh well.
Yeah, a bit of a weird weekend compared to what we've had for the last basically month, with massive scores going around everywhere. There wasn't barely any centuries this week. Only 12 centuries. Like I think last week there would have been way more than that, significantly more. Yeah, last week there was 19. So just a lower scoring week. So yeah, I'm happy with only a small red realistically.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I guess on to me. All ball. Yeah, go down the line. Yeah, 1290 I got. So nearly cracked the 1300. I think it's probably a solid week, to be honest. Probably about par, I'd say, or a little bit over potentially. I decided to bring in Fermor this week, who had a serious downtick week in terms of base power. He was base powering like, I don't know, 70 to 80 the last couple of weeks, and now he got like low 50s, so that was a bit disappointing. But I guess I did outline on the potty if that's all he was going to do and buy coverage, then I guess that was fine. But I was hoping for something a little bit more than that. In terms of my other pods and trade-ins, I went with obviously Greg the Legmaju. That was quite disappointing in the end. The try 56 was not ideal, but just life. I think he still has a good draw, and he plays a lot of games at home, so I'm keen for the Knights to be firing for those ones. Fletcher Sharp finally gave me something back on my early trade-in for him, so he got like 30-30, 50-50, something like that. And then now he's got his 90, so 2 try 90. It's fine for me. Yeah, pretty happy with it. decided to flip from Chester to Cobbo right before that game on Friday, and that seemed to be what kind of won me the round against Dan in this Blueprint League. But yeah, that's about it for me.
Nice, mate.
What really did win it was the Herbie VC, right?
Oh yeah, true. Herbie VC.
Yeah. Which he almost didn't take.
No, that would not be true.
Moving on to me, I got 12.37. Obviously, Elliot had Sharp. Dan had Dan had Nico. I didn't really have that player this week. Brought in Greg, thought he could be a good pod. Still delivered with 56, but I mean, when our similar players are sort of 3 or 4 or 5 players different that we have in our teams, and I didn't really have anyone go 100 plus, then you know what, I'll take what I can get. For me, yeah, really just not a lot of big scores this week. My highest scoring player, I'm pretty sure, was Harry Grant with 96. So I didn't even get a single ton in my team at all. Obviously, forward off the bench wasn't ideal. Teddy VC, I just took a flyer because I couldn't do it on Ponga. And I didn't lose anything in the end, but obviously only got 21 and then got picked for the Blues off the back of it. So that's a bit outrageous. But yeah, I don't know. That game was sort of a bit all over the place. No one really stood up. I mean, the bloke that looked like he wanted it on the field was Tom Chester, who I played, and he only got 54. So, I don't know. I think I had a lot of players in the Melbourne game where there was 1 million points and kind of only certain players got scores, and a lot of players in the Souths Cowboys game where, again, not a lot of players got score. And then Sewer was obviously a bit underwhelming as well. But yeah, I don't know. 12.37, I'm pretty happy considering all my pods sort of didn't do a lot. So, I'll take that. I got a good team set up into Origin in the weeks coming. I've got 7 premium center wings now, so maybe consider selling one of them this week. But yeah, I'm pretty set, and I'm happy. It'll be a red, but I don't know, lose a couple of thousand places and have a team set up ready for Origin, so I don't mind that.
Nice, good sir. Decent weeks all round. Let's move into the awards for the week. Starting off with our MVP. Talk about your boy Herbie, mate.
Yeah, he was the GOAT. Just trying to think back to this game. Obviously got that try, and then I think he even looked like he could have had another one. He kind of just got brought down there by probably Campbell Graham or whoever was there. But yeah, just looked good. I think offloading was off the charts again from memory without having the stats in front of me. But yeah, Herbie just doing Herbie things really.
The base power was insane.
Base power was definitely up this game. I think it's the thing for me was just like looking at a Jason Saab hat-trick for 130 and then a 1-try Herbie for 140 just really puts us back into perspective of how good this bloke is.
Yeah.
He had a couple down weeks, and down weeks for Herbie is just like a 60 or 70 or 50 or whatever that last week was, and then his usual around 70 to 80 without a try. But yeah, that just speaks to the caliber of player he is, and I got rewarded with a VC, so I was quite happy with that in the end.
On Herbie, we should say, this will be your last week to get him, and you need him for Origin. The buy coverage is insane. I don't think there's a world you can anti-pod Herbie.
Yeah, I'd probably agree.
So, yeah. I'd say bordering on a must-have at center wing, considering there's no standouts there at the moment.
He's only in 48% of teams too.
Yeah.
And the top 10%, that would be significantly higher.
Yeah.
Mine's not working at the moment for some reason.
I'll pull it up. I'll be a second off. Yeah, 92% in the top 10%. So, yeah, I guess that does make more sense.
Yep.
Next award for that one, the Money Well Spent Award for the best trade of the week.
I reckon it's Ollie Pascoe.
Yeah, honestly.
He was not as much traded in as Jack Bostock. But it's pretty tight between the two, actually. I think it's tight between the two. I kind of want to go Pascoe because it's more of a shock. That would be I don't know. That would be my view.
Well, Ollie Pascoe will be eligible for the best cheapie of the round. So did we want to give this one to Bostock and then?
No, he's 340. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, he is unders. Yeah, it's good. Okay, I like that.
Bostock was traded in by a lot. People were sort of doubtful if he'd keep going, and he did get that score. So
yeah,
I think he's well and truly earned it.
I'm happy with that.
Averaging above 80, I believe. So pretty insane from Bostock, really.
Good from Bostock.
The next award for the Fool's Gold Award for the worst popular buy of the week.
I mean, I'm just looking at the other trades, and none of them are terrible.
Probably is Marju, right? Even though he got 50 and everyone was happy, he did get a try.
Yeah, I don't see another fantastic nominee, to be honest.
Considering he was playing the Titans at 2 p.m. on a Sunday, that screams of 150, and he only got 50. So I'm not against it, even though I own him, and I was happy with the score.
I think it
Could have been a lot more.
I think it could be Greg.
And you said something ridiculous about like more than 50% of top 10% bought him in or something. Is that correct?
Yeah, I can't. Let's see if it'll work now. Let me refresh. But yeah, I think it was like almost 10,000 of the top 10%, which is, that's over half bought him in. So, and he got like, here it is. Yeah, 58.3% of the top 10% bought him in.
Yeah, and you won't bring him in thinking you get 50. So I think it probably is Greg, even though it was a decent score still.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the rest of these trade-ins. None of them were terrible.
Yep.
Tedesco was bought in by 4.2% of the top 10%.
Yeah, right.
Tough week for those lot.
The We Trusted You award for the biggest captaincy under performance. Talking of James Tedesco, was the VC flowing around on him a bit, or was it just me?
Yeah, I think.
Would you go Trell or Teddy? Oh, sorry, no, that's not even a good question. You would definitely go Teddy.
Teddy, I think.
Yep.
He was the most VC'd player and the third most captain player of all coaches.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand. Like on a week like this, how are there more not more like 1,000 scores, 1,100 scores? Like,
yeah.
How are we looking at 1,200
I guess
and being like maybe it's a red?
I guess no one loops, so it's just these 6% of teams.
Yeah, I guess.
What is it in the top 10%? What's the captain in there?
Less, surely.
He was captained by 3.7% of the top 10%.
Wow, that's still pretty high.
Clear was 85%.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's Teddy.
Teddy, yeah.
Poor week from Teddy.
The Hall of Shame award for the most disappointing player of the week now. We have a player in mind. A bloke that couldn't even scratch a positive number.
Yeah, I think Camperera is a good nominee, to be honest.
Lofiana Camperera.
I'm not anti double nominating Teddy, by the way.
Yeah,
I think if
you just said Teddy was going to get 21, like I don't think anybody would have believed you.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to mix it up. Like, I mean, scoring -1 when you've played the whole game is pretty nuts. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, let's just do it.
We want to go AKP.
I think for shock factor, yeah.
Okay, AKP.
I mean, if we're talking
-1.
relevance and stuff like that, it's probably Teddy. But like, let's just give it to AKP. I think.
Yep, I agree with that. The next award for the Budget Bandit. Now, we already talked about this one, but I think it's just Ollie Pascoe.
It is Ollie Pascoe.
Some insane form. I'm really sad I missed the boat, but
Fantastic trading.
I don't know if he has the job security. I didn't think he had the job security. I'm now pretty confident he will.
I mean, with that second 99 in his rolling average, like, is he out of the realms of possibility for an upgrade?
It'll be 400k. You could do it, but like,
It's
this is the week.
Oh, you have to do it this week. This is the last week.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still definitely considering it because having a playable hooker in a world where there's a lot of middles in Origin is not the worst idea. I mean, everyone will be running a slightly weaker team. Particularly, they're versing Manly without their 2 strike weapons in 12. And then they verse, I think it's the Tigers. No, the Eels.
They have a bye 13. And then
Eels in... I know I was looking at something. But yeah, anyway, I'm probably pretty happy to consider it, considering now that some players got left out, which we'll touch on later, of the Origin squads. I'm probably pretty sorted.
Yeah.
For round 12, it's definitely crossed the mind, particularly because the Cheese just feels like he's going to get re-injured. He spent the last 2 years pretty much plagued by injury. I've already got 2, well, not enoughs, but I've got Francis Manu Leilua, who's pretty much enough, and then I've got Saxon Pryke, who's, I don't know, the minute rotation at the Eels is cooked. So, yeah, I'd be pretty happy to get off enough, particularly with the cash that'll be flowing this week with some downgrades.
Yeah. I could maybe look at Pascoe. Maybe.
I think I'll have a look at him. I just think cash is going to be the problem, to be honest. So,
See, I have Simi still. I have 300k in the bank. I have Taylor May / Casey McLean. One of them will have to go down. If Taylor May's confirmed out forever, then I will.
yep.
Did we miss an award, by the way? Did we do the best captain?
Nah. Oh yeah, we did. Oh no, because Herbie is the best player, so we might have just. And he was the best VC.
I guess that's Toby for both.
Wait.
Did we miss an award, mate?
No.
Can you run over him?
Sure. There's no best captain.
Oh, there's not. Okay, I'm just.
The best on ground, highest scoring player of the week.
Yeah.
Then the money well spent for the best popular buy of the week.
Yep.
Fool's gold.
Yeah.
The biggest captaincy.
Oh, there's
performance.
not. Okay,
most
yeah.
disappointing player.
I just don't even
Budget
know our own
bandit.
show. That's okay, mate. I don't know our
And
own
then
show.
So I think we're pretty content giving that one to Ollie Pascoe, considering he got 99 and is sub 350k. Next award, the Out of Nowhere award for the breakout player of the week.
I think it's Clayton.
Honestly, I'm pretty content with that.
Fullback Clayton. I mean, geez,
He actually looked pretty good, to be honest.
He is already expensive, which is not ideal, but I think you could definitely consider it, especially with Lehigh and Hamole out for round 12. And I think they play 18 as well.
Lehigh, cooler.
Sorry, Kohler. And yeah. I think they play 12 and 18.
Yeah.
I think they've got the Titans and the
I think it'd be done
Parramatta
by 18.
Eels.
I think it'd be done by 18.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, as in, I think Tobo will be back and they'll be...
True.
Who are they going to bring in for Kohler, though, is the real question.
Oh,
Do
maybe
they have a
he'll
winger
play.
in the wind?
Maybe.
Yeah, they're going to bring in Blake Wilson, and I think they're going to move for Arlo to centre, surely.
You're saying in 18, you mean?
No, this week.
Will they go Clayton at fullback still this week?
I don't know if they
No,
do.
they might not.
That's
Who's
what
going to
I'm
go
saying.
fullback?
Lehigh.
Lehigh.
Yeah, because they don't.
Because the whole decision for Clayton, I know he ripped it up, but like the whole decision for Clayton to go back there, I heard, was because of a defensive problem, and I think that's because they want to Kohler back in the centres. Are they going to play Lehigh in the centres?
Maybe. Probably not, actually.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That feels sad.
That
Yeah.
is a bit sad.
I think it's a wait and watch this week for Team West.
It's probably a bit of a flyer opinion by me, but I'm just trying to point it out there.
Now you've said it, they're not going to play Lehigh or Blake Wilson at centre. Yeah, right. Oh, damn.
They don't have Tommy Talau anymore.
Anyway,
He could
good
play
anyway.
centre.
Good anyway from Clayton.
Yep.
Great week.
And that wraps up the awards for the week. Nice and easy this week. Sometimes it's a
Fantastic.
bit of discussion, but I think we're all on the same page after this week.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome.
So that'll bring us into discussing the Origin teams, as you all know. And as this comes out, the teams would have come out earlier today, at almost the crack of dawn. Not really, but yeah. Bit of discretion in there. I think they're pretty far from they're definitely far from what we thought the teams would be. There's some shock leave-outs, shock ins that we thought people out of form that got picked in there. And it's just a bit of bush poetry from Billy and classic New South Wales overthinking, in my opinion.
Yeah, these teams are weird. I'll tell you what, though, it's fantastic news for Supercoach.
Yeah,
Especially...
that is
my
probably
team.
the big one. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good for Supercoach.
No forward selected in the Blues team. No Terrell May selected in the Blues team.
No Fine Fuiaki.
Nathan Fuyaki in the Queensland team.
No
Like,
Lukey.
there's all these Supercoach relevant names basically didn't get picked, which is unbelievable, to be honest. We're not going to read out the team because
Should we just go over the sort of shocks? Like we'll go through. We'll just give a yay or nay, and then if it's a nay, then we'll sort of discuss why we're not that keen.
Yeah.
Start with the Blues.
Yeah. I think their backline's basically right.
Yeah. So Teddy comes back in. I don't mind that. He's been in form bar this weekend, so I think that's fine. Obviously, Toto and Kohler on the wings and Crichton and Staggs. I think we're all pretty content with
I
that.
don't hate it.
Latrell out.
I think I would have gone Jenkins on the wing, but I don't hate Collar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I sort of said, Mitchell Moses, Cleary halves. I mean, I don't really know what they're doing, but you know what? It's not the worst thing.
It didn't shock me.
Some experience. I did think they'd do it, but it does feel weird when Strange and Luai can both play there pretty confidently. Props, Adam Fanua-Blake, who's eligible for the first time this year. I think we all sort of said that. He's kind of that Origin sort of style. Big bumpers, going to be hard to tackle. Played no minutes, but it doesn't matter when you've got Cameron Murray and Isaiah Yeo.
Yeah.
Robson at hooker with Brayley on the bench. I think we all sort of predicted that sort of happening if they were going to take a 14. Hudson Young, Ola Kawadu make up the edges and Yeo at lock.
I think the starting team's fine. It's just the bench.
Yeah. Now, first point of maybe some conjecture. You guys both thought Isaiah Yeo would move to prop and Cameron Murray would be the lock.
Yeah, but they'll do that anyway. The fact they don't start there, whatever. I think that'll happen anyway.
Yeah.
Yo will play 20 minutes at lock, then probably move to the front row.
Yeah.
I guess.
That makes the most sense in my opinion.
Yeah.
So Victor Radley, eligible again this year, lads, on the bench. What are we thinking?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
As a New South Wales Blues supporter, I'm not, but if I was, I'd be a little bit disappointed by that, I think. When you've got the likes of Terrell May, Jackson Ford, Keon sitting out, and they've picked Victor Radley on the bench, does feel a bit outrageous, doesn't it?
And I don't know. And their only big body in Jacob Saifidi feels completely rogue. And yeah, you just brought up what the exact point is. Terrell May exists.
Like if that
Keon's looking better by the day. I just wouldn't have picked him.
If Jacob Saifidi was Terrell May, maybe I could understand it. You just play Terrell for like 60 to 70 minutes, and then sort of between Yo, Radley, you find an extra sort of minutes, and then Murray and Yo share the minutes at lock. Maybe. But Jacob Saifidi's probably good for 30 minutes max, in my mind.
I get it. I think this bench is 2 changes away from being fine. Or sorry, basically the team is 2 changes away from being fine. You just drop out Radley and Saifidi, and you bring in a middle, and either a second middle or just a true edge. Like, I don't see what Victor Radley's role in this team is. Maybe he's got some rogue plan, but I don't see it.
I mean, Brayley, we talked about, good pick there. Strange, don't mind seeing him on the bench as a bit of, he could play centre, he could play halves.
Strange and McLean are fine cover.
Yeah, and then Dylan Lucas at 20th man, likely to drop out, obviously.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't know. As a whole, it was quite surprising, honestly, for me, the Blues team. I did not think that would look anything like the Blues team. If you had showed me that on TikTok, I don't know about you lads or something, if I'd have found that as a predicted team, I probably would have laughed and said there's no way.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah.
I don't know. It just feels like we know who Laurie is as a coach, and it's probably like he probably does tend to overthink the room at times. But it just kind of looked like every middle forward from the Blues was kind of going good.
Yeah.
And it just felt like he couldn't mess up. Like he could probably make some rogue selections and different position-wise, and I don't know, bring in Adam Fanua-Blake, even though he hasn't been that good. And it's like, it's probably fine. Like he's got so many weapons that how could he pick a bad team? And then he's picked Victor Radley and Jacob Saifidi. And it's like, Laurie, this is probably your last year as a coach, let's be honest.
I think he'll have 2 more years because then Ivan Cleary will come in 2028, would be my guess.
It's a good point.
But I don't understand. I don't understand most of that team, to be honest.
Yeah. Yep.
Queensland.
So Kalen Ponga edges out Reece Walsh at fullback.
No issues.
Pretty happy with that. It was probably touch and go between the two, but Reece has been out of form, so Kalen will do a job. Cobbo and Fafita on the wings.
Jojo Fafita.
Yeah.
Oh.
It did look a little bit underwhelming in yesterday's game against the Knights, but he has been in form, Jojo Fafita.
I don't know who I would have gone instead, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Murray Talongi not fit?
No.
Nah, well, he hasn't come back and played a game since that head knock. I think he had those 2 weeks out.
I don't think he's fit.
Because of the 11-day stand down or whatever it was. Or maybe it was even longer.
I think he'll be back game 2, but probably just too quick of a turnaround for game 1.
To be honest, with the Jojo pick, it's kind of fits the mold, in my opinion, of like he's probably just going to come in and do a solid job.
Yeah.
I think. I don't think he's the reason why the Titans are bad, and I think he'll be fine.
I think he's a good workhorse.
Yep. Munster Walker halves. We were all Team Clifford, I think,
I
after
thought
the weekend's performance.
Yeah. I thought this is what it was going to be, though.
Yeah. If you go Kalen at the back, I think the world for Sam Walker is absolutely fine, but I don't think you could have had Reece and Sam Walker.
That would have felt a little bit hectic.
A bit too
That would have been, yeah.
This I don't mind. Kalen Ponga can sort of pick up the long kicking game where needed as well. So pretty content with that, I think. Obviously, I probably would have still liked to see Clifford, but you will take it. Flegler. What are we thinking, lads?
It feels very rogue in the sense that, like, especially from when you take into the fact that I've been following Flegler's minutes from a Supercoach point of view, it feels like why? Like he hasn't proven anything in the NRL this year. He just hasn't got the minutes. He hasn't had the chance to really excel or show that he's going to be proven in this arena.
Yeah.
But he is a big body, and if the idea that I was thinking is he probably just starts low minutes, gets through the grunt work, and then just comes off and plays that similar probably 20-minute stint that he does for the Dolphins.
I agree.
Probably does make sense, to be honest.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
You go Flegler for Carrigan at like the 25-minute mark and you just leave that.
I think that sounds about right. I don't think you'll get 2 stints.
Yep. No surprises too much with Grant or Tino there at 9 and 10.
All good.
Cotter, second row. I know Elliott's not super keen. I like it.
I'm not shocked.
It wasn't that you weren't keen. Sorry, I should rephrase. You just thought he should start at middles instead. But
yeah, I just don't know why we keep picking him at second row. He does do a job most times, but then I guess when you look at like the guys in form that you're sitting in, like you got Lukey and then Fini Fuiaki, it's like they do play second row every single week for club, and it's like it just kind of fills me with a little bit more confidence having like a second row playing, second row.
I would have definitely started Fini Fuiaki.
I don't know.
My fears are maybe slightly different. So Ruben Cotter likely to play on the right edge. Sam Walker on that edge, Rob Toya and Jojo Fafita. It's not going to be the most mobile defensive edge you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
Sam Walker, not a notorious defender. Ruben Cotter, obviously a bit of a bigger body, so lateral movement going to be a bit tough to sort of cover for Sam Walker. I mean, I'm not doubting him. He's defended so well in the past, Ruben Cotter, but geez, it does feel like if I was the Blues, I'd be smacking that edge all day.
Probably.
Especially with the likes of, Toto and probably Crichton, right?
You'd go
Stags on the right.
Stags on the right, Crichton
Yeah.
left, yeah.
So, I don't know. Not too much to talk about there. Kirk Abel comes in, bit of experience. I don't mind it at all. And then Max Plath at lock. I actually really like this pick. He's been playing out of his skin for the Dolphins. Any sort of conjecture on that one?
I still would have started Paddy, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I actually don't mind it. I probably don't have a huge amount of opinion or reasons to back that up, but it just feels very Queensland.
Yeah.
Max Plath just feels like a Queensland player, and if he kind of fills me with confidence. I mean, if you had Ruben Cotter there, I'd probably feel exactly the same. But obviously, Ruben Cotter's got the runs on the board. But Max Plath feels like a that sort of player to me.
I think I would have rathered him first change off the bench, like faster legs when people are starting to get a little bit fatigued.
Yeah.
But I think it's not terrible.
Yeah. Yep. We'll skip some of them first to go through the players that are sort of deserving of the spot. Finay Fuaka, 20th man. I mean, conjecture is he'll play for the Dolphins this weekend potentially, but honestly, I would have liked to see him inside the 19 personally.
Inside the 13.
Yeah.
He should have been starting right second row. I think that's pretty obvious to me.
Yeah, I agree. But either way, he definitely needed a spot on the bench. He's been too informed to sort of deny, and they have denied him. I don't know, maybe it's an experience thing. They'll get him in and around the camp for a week, and then they'll put him in for game 2, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll see. Lindsay Collins, Pat Carrigan, obviously heroes of past years. They've sort of picked themselves. I think we're all kind of content with that.
Yep.
We'll get on to the contentious players. Brenton Nickera, picked over Finay Fuiaki.
Yeah,
He's been out of form for a long time.
I don't hate it being there. I don't hate it.
But when you think of the second rowers you have,
I just wonder what his role's going to be.
A genuine cover, I think.
Like, is it Cotter goes to the middle, Britton goes on the edge?
I mean, maybe.
probably.
Why are we not putting Finny Fuiaki there, though?
Yeah.
Like Nickera has had no form. He started off the bench. He hasn't been running good lines. It looks like to me he's been having bad defensive reads. Like he had a bad one in that whatever the game was on the weekend.
Bulldogs, Sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this team's just like basically one change away from being good, which is you move Finay Fuiaki to starting edge, you put Cotter in Nickera's spot on the bench, and you move Britton Nickera to the 20th.
Yeah.
Just do that like
and then that would be a good team. Yeah.
It's just like fine. Yeah,
I could even take it if it was Finny Fuiaki at 14. Like
I'd cop that as
I'd
well.
cop that too.
Yeah,
It just feels a bit
I think
weird.
it's silly, but Nickera might stand up. He might stand up.
Yeah, maybe.
You never know.
Ex-contentious player, Trent Liero.
Yeah, I'm done with Trent, to be honest.
The Storm dropped him for a bit.
I don't know. I just don't see what his role is in this team. If we got Plath and Carrigan who can both cut the lock, which is really Trent's speciality.
I mean, Carrigan will just play through the middle, and Trent Liero will come on at lock for Plath, right? That's just going to be what happens.
I
Whether
guess.
we like it or not, it's going to be what happens.
Whatever. I mean, he's done okay in the past, Trent.
Yeah, he's a
but,
bit of a tackle bot, runs from time to time. He's not amazing, but he does the job.
I just think it's better.
Yeah. But in saying that, I think if I could make one change, he would still be in the side. I think Nickera, see you later. And then the final contentious point, 2 Broncos out of form players
Yeah,
picked at 18th and 19th, Mam and Shibasaki.
I'm less bothered, personally.
Really?
I think you just pick a halves cover and a outside back cover. Like, you can pick massively informed guys, but like, and I know this isn't the best mentality, but odds are they won't play anyway. So,
But like Clifford over Mam, does he not deserve a spot in the 19th?
I don't know. Maybe, well, I guess if you're thinking of like, what's the scenario we'd want? Like, if the game's, I mean, I guess an injury, but I'm more thinking like from a strategic standpoint, if you kind of just want to throw someone on to try get some attack to break the game open,
It's Ezra Mam.
you definitely want Ezra over Clifford in that
but like-
situation.
If Munster goes down and your halves pairing is Ezra Mam, Sam Walker,
No, I agree
obviously
from-
not thinking.
I agree from that perspective.
Well, I guess in the one situation where Munster goes down early, then that's probably not the one. But I think in almost all other situations, I'm fine with Ezra being there. But Ezra's been really out of form defensively, and it just kind of feels like, why is he there? But maybe I'm just kind of in the middle of both of your opinions. But yeah,
And then Gavin Shibasaki, obviously been out of form as hell. Got dropped from the Broncos team at one point.
Whatever.
Would you not rather?
I reckon they would
Purge
do
you or something.
I reckon they would do more things though before subbing him on. Like, I reckon it's way more like if an outside back went injured, they just go Capewell to the centers.
Yeah, probably.
Like that, I just think there's a sub 1% chance Shibasaki plays. I think the scenario is like 2 outside backs get injured.
Yeah, probably.
Like I don't think they'd want to waste an interchange early on that, would be my guess.
Yep. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps up the Origin teams. I mean, some surprise picks there, but
Just off the back of that, how many players does everyone now have available for 13? Sorry, for 12, because I believe I'm 13.
I think I have
I got 10 at the moment, 3 trades. We'll hopefully make 13.
Yeah, I'm
because
13.
Cobbo out and
Cobbo and Flag.
Cobbo and Flag.
It was always going to be Cobbo and Lukey. So then the Flag shocked me a little bit, but I was kind of staying with Lukey a little bit. So yeah.
Yep. I believe I have. Let me count quickly. I have 11 currently, not counting some
Cool.
bots.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll all have full coverage going into the round, which will be lovely.
Yep.
Fantastic. All right, it's already been a long potty, so I think these game reviews are going to be
Lightning fast.
extremely fast. Sharks, Bulldogs. Sharks win 38-16. Nico was fantastic. Nico is coming in to everyone's team in round 13, 14, or 15, you'd imagine?
Yeah, absolutely.
Going to cost a pretty penny, though, but I think there's lots of cash floating around. That should be fine. Good return from Mulatalo. Colhoun continues to look good. When was he suspended, Cam McInnes, or injured? Or
Injured.
I think it might have been injured. So he might just continue to cook. And Preston scored a try and looked okay for the Bulldogs. Any other players worthy of note mentioning? Leo Thompson not looking too great. Tupanua looked solid.
Yeah, Tippino with another good game.
Yeah. He went on Tupanua.
Josh Curran dropped out of the team altogether.
Played
Pre
80.
the game, so
I think he's just solid.
yeah, I think he's not a worse.
28 in base, though, is not all that great.
Tippino.
Yeah.
Really?
We got a line break and then a line break assist and then a couple tackle busts and a force. Oh, wait, I'm looking at Burn. I'm actually just blind.
47 tackles.
Sorry,
I
I'm
was thinking
sorry. Bro, honestly, I don't even know what just happened. I looked at Burton and thought he was Tupanua.
It was all base.
Yeah, 61 all in base. Right, okay. Yeah, I think Tupanua's pretty good, guys.
Yeah.
I think he's a solid downgrade option. Only plays 12, though, doesn't play 15, 18. So you got to keep that in mind for your unique situation.
Yep.
Bad game from Kaleo, but he'll bounce back. That's all good. Dolphins to beat the Rabbitohs 32-10. We've already talked about Herbie. We've already kind of talked about Bostock. Bostock had a great game. I think he's still a really good buy, even though he's now going to cost closer to 600k. Unakin scored, but I'm looking at Tallis Duncan.
Yeah, me too.
Big game from Dallas.
All
Tallis.
majors as well.
Covers all majors, misses 2 of the minors, but you should mostly have cover there. 18 points in power, 55 in base, and he got a line break. Like, Dallas Duncan's just looking big, but geez, expensive. Even with this, he'll only drop down to like 690k. Just big price.
Yep. But definitely worth considering there.
I think I'm looking more at Keon, to be honest, if I was going to go someone from this Rabbitoh side. I think he's back. He got 70, 58 in base, and I assume the rest in, tackle bust. There you go. 56 minutes for 70 points, and he costs 520k.
Yeah.
Like,
Any sort of origin risk?
No.
maybe. I'm not saying I will do it, but I'm going to keep an eye on him. And obviously, Trell got injured.
Yep.
Trell is that's going to be an interesting situation when we return. Because, I think someone talked about Trell coming back from injury. Maybe there's a chance they don't play him for Origin if they're worried about his fitness. Mm-hmm. So that might affect any Latrell Siegwalt issues this week. That could be an interesting situation. I guess the other main talking point from this game is Jermaine Asako. Would have been heavily traded in and only got a 56. He does have these games in him, Jermaine. He does have them in him. Like, he got 24 points in goals, 32 in base, and that was kind of all he did. Didn't really get any attacking ball.
Yeah. When teams are defending terribly, the ball just doesn't get to him.
Yeah, so get ready for these kind of games with Jermaine if you're an owner.
But you will have hundreds.
You will have hundreds.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much all to touch on from that game, really.
Nice. Moving on to the Saturday. Manly defeat the Tigers 46-18. Oh, it was the Hamole show, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely obliterated them. A try, an assist, 16 in tackle bus, 3 line breaks and a line break assist, and 31 points in runs. He was just a freak. He's going to cost a lot, and Origin period's going to be annoying for Hamole, but geez, he looks unbelievable at the moment. Honestly, I want to own him so bad, but it just feels untenable.
Yep.
Saab was incredible. Clayton Fowler was... Did I just say terrible for Saab?
No.
Saab was great.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Whatever I said. Saab was awesome. He got a hat-trick. Clayton was really good as well. We've already talked about him. Terrell May. Someone was talking about Terrell May here before.
80 minutes. He played on the weekend. So I think if Twal is out for a little bit, which they're saying he'll be back by round 13, geez, it looks like a good option. Back to 80-minute football. Obviously an arm and a leg, but there's not many premium sort of front row forwards / 2RFs. If you have Twal at front row, you could always bump him down to 2RF and get Terrell. I just do think when Twal comes back, you've got to expect those minutes to come back down. So I don't know, maybe food for thought, maybe not this week. Obviously, they're not going to play this week, but you could consider 13, 14, 15. I mean, for me, I might wait until game 2 teams. See if New South Wales bump him in. And if they don't, then I think you can pretty confidently go him.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think? See if Terrell gets picked.
Game 2. So you
That is not happening.
I just don't think they want him at all.
you reckon if they
No way. They would have picked him in this team.
I don't see what's going to change.
do you reckon if they get skinned through the middle, he comes in? He would have to, sure.
I think if
I think
anything,
they
is
picked Keon before him.
I think if anything is less likely because Ars is going to be back. Keon's going to be more fit. Like I reckon they'd pick Ford before him still. I reckon he's less likely to get picked next game, which feels
Crazy
not
to say.
psycho. But yeah, I don't hate the idea of Terrell.
Yep.
Kai Paul, you feeling pretty good about that trade last week in the end?
Yeah.
In the end?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so you got that try late on.
You got
for his 80.
I guess you could say you got bailed out a little bit, but
He would have still got over 60, so not bad.
The Tigers just did so much defense that he couldn't really run the ball effectively, and it's gonna happen from week to week. I mean, there were so many errors by the.
yeah, I think the Tigers didn't look themselves this week. Obviously, they lost against who'd they play the week before? Sharkies? No, it was Melbourne. The attack still looks good for the Tigers against Melbourne, but yeah.
Yeah, KPP is going to be a popular trade in 13 for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's the main big dogs in this game. Taylor May looks like he's got a shoulder injury, so we're now all going to have to trade him, which is pretty brutal after he cooked so much in the other week. Ruben Garrett was kicking goals, but I doubt that'll continue.
I don't know,
I don't.
but I don't think you can bank on it.
Yeah, you couldn't back on it. Cool. Game of the round. Cowboys defeat the Roosters 18-12. But really not much notable Supercoach going on here at all. Braden Burns got 113, but I reckon he's owned by about 3 people.
Yep.
Connor Watson 94. Did you say before, Ben?
Could you consider? Yeah.
He's going to cost 420K next week.
I mean, he doesn't play this week and only plays 15, so that's probably the deterrent. But he is very cheap and obviously does have that hooker duel. So if you miss Ollie Pascoe and you want to upgrade the cheese, if his injury gets a setback, then you could probably do it.
Yeah, it seems interesting. Someone else interesting is Nafahu White. Finally returned to a little bit of form, getting 87 points, 53 in base, and 34 in power. Yeah. So a big game from Naf White. But again, Roosters are going to be tough to look at with 12-18. They miss. Sam Walker continues to look great. I think I said yesterday in my review that he's averaged 87 since Elliott traded him out. So it's tough going there.
Beautiful.
Yeah. The rest of the Roosters is a bit of a nothingness. Cody Ramsey scored. He'll still be fairly cheap this week if you need a downgrade. I think you could look at him maybe. Cowboys, McKaylee, Drinkwater, Lukey, Chester, all in the 50s, so nothing overly exciting there. Liam Sutton, young 5'8", who's come in at bottom dollar, got 52 points with 36 in base. Could potentially be people's Peasant downgrade. I reckon there's a chance.
I definitely like the look of him over like I don't know, Tamari Martin or someone like that if Metcalf's kicking around there.
Yeah, I think he looked good. I obviously want to see another game of it, and I'm thinking I might go up from Pezza anyway, personally, but I think it's a decent option, and Purdue was bad. Cool. That game is done. Final game from the Saturday was the Storm beating Parramatta 34-8. Cam Munster goes back-to-back weeks of really doing great things. 127, a try, 2 assists, 2 contributions, 44 in base is just really good from Cam. Looks like he's back, to be honest. Right in time for Origin as well.
Oh, yeah.
Taking runs, that's the big upgrade here. He took 12 runs. When he was in that down period of form, I reckon he was taking 4 to 6 a week.
Yeah,
that's where it's coming from.
Good from Cam. Tough buy, though, with him obviously missing all the Origin weeks.
They only play 1, right?
They play 12, and then he misses 15, 18 anyway.
Yeah.
So maybe.
It's not even the worst buy, considering.
Yeah. I think there's better 5'8" options, which we'll get to. But I think he's a good option anyway. Harry Grant continues to look great, but I'm pretty sure he's owned by basically everyone, so it's not overly interesting. Geez, Cooper Clark's been good.
Yep. Try there for that. But
Yeah.
regardless, very good.
Jerome Hughes is a sneaky one who might take a lot of the burden now that Munster and Grant are both playing Origin. But again, same thing with all Storm guys. They missed 15 and 18. And Lasardi continues to just be like the player of the year, unquestionably, at least for value.
Yeah.
Hasn't got a single score below 60.
Yep. And got no attacking returns on the weekend either for his 61.
Yeah, he just gets base and power.
Yep.
Pretty poor game from Sewer. What are we thinking on the Sewer situation? I know you're eyeing up a sell to Nico, or you've got that in your thoughts.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty much banking a Sewer to Nico in either 14 or 15. I think it's going to be 14 because they've got
The Dragons.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much just going to be happening. I've heard on a lot of podcasts over the last week and a bit that people are looking at Sewer holding him for the season, just locking him in. I think it might have been one person that was saying that if you're selling Sewer, you're a bit silly, but I don't think so with Nico knocking about. You need Nico on your team, and that's probably the main place for me to do it.
Yep.
I mean, now that Teddy's picked, there's probably I do have another look in, but I have a couple of weeks to figure that out. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, Sewer's now gone back-to-back weeks. I mean, obviously he didn't play the full game against the Tigers, but it's now back-to-back 40s. So his price is going to tank quite a bit. So it's a steep climb to get to Nico, or it's looking like it's going to be a steep climb anyway. But I do agree with you in terms of I think Sewer is probably not a season keeper at this stage. I don't know if he has the upside consistently enough, which feels weird to say, but we just kind of aren't showing me it at the moment.
Yeah. Well, it just doesn't at the moment. Regardless of like Melbourne's back-to-back wins, it kind of feels like they're not really getting him in the right places to do like the things he was doing against the Dragons and stuff earlier in the season. Like that still feels like it's dwindling a little bit for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Who'd they beat last week? Tigers. They did beat like an out-of-form Tigers and then
Eels,
the Eels. It's like, are the Storm really back?
I think it's just coinciding with Munster, Grant and Hughes getting more ball, meaning Sewer's getting less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did see Cameron Smith came out and said, like, if I was in the Storm changing rooms, I would just stay humble and realise that we've just beaten the out-of-form Tigers and the Eels. Like, they haven't actually beaten, I don't know, the Warriors or someone yet. So we can't for sure say they are back. They have just first teams that are worse than them currently.
And then the Eels are completely Supercoach irrelevant.
Yeah.
Apart from Volkman, who's gained some people some cash. And that's about it.
And Joash, I guess, as well.
I guess Joash as well. Cool. Alrighty, moving on to the Sunday games. The Knights defeat the Titans 36-12. The Titans put up a little bit of a fight, though. Not a crushing like we all thought it would be. It was the right side for the Knights. Well, it was yesterday now. Dane Gagai 123, Dom Young 100. So it looks like they're not going to be just completely left side dependent the entire time, the Knights, which probably not good news for most Knights stakeholders, to be honest. But the real story, honestly, at least on this day, was Fletcher Sharp finally giving Elliott some relief. A 2-try, 91. He didn't really do anything special, to be honest. He just got himself in the right positions.
Yeah.
Which will happen at that left centre spot, I think.
Yeah, the move to left centre, I think, was very profitable for him. But maybe that confidence now just feeds into the rest of his, just feeds into him now, and he'll be back.
It did also just seem not downed by injury like he has in previous weeks. He looked a little bit fitter, so.
Yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on him in 13 or 14 probably, for sure. Probably still getting him around that 500k mark, which is nice. Sandon Smith got an awfully high score, but obviously he's not relevant. Dylan Lucas was fine. Yeah, bit of a poor game from Ponga. He just didn't look right. A lot of errors. His creation wasn't that great. He missed 3 goals. Like, his goal kicking has not been good at all, to be honest. I don't know. He's still a good option, but I'm starting to look at KP as... He just doesn't feel like a captaincy option. Like, I don't know if he's consistent enough. I don't know.
He's a great VC, but I don't think he's the best captain.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good way to phrase it, actually. I think that's a good way to phrase it. Yeah, it's just nowhere near as involved as I thought or hoped he would be, to be honest. I think that's all the main relevant players from the Knights are playing, apart from Marju, who got 56. But obviously, owners aren't crushed by that. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. And he still looked pretty good out there. Like, he broke tackles. Like, it wasn't a line break, but like he made a breakaway. Yeah, I think he still looks good. I think he was just a little bit the victim of Bradman Best falling out. Like Fletcher Sharp's a great player and he loves to follow people up the middle, but that was how he scored both his tries. Like, he's not as direct and damaging and sucking in defenders as Bradman, in my opinion.
No, I think that's accurate.
But yeah, obviously they looked. The Knights looked to go a bit more right this week. Maybe there's more space down there or whatever. But yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Ollie Pascoe, he's looking the goods. I think that's a solid buy.
Woodnote didn't play 80 this week.
68.
Summerton came on, so that's all right.
That's
Was
interesting.
that Ollie?
Yeah,
Ollie
Pascoe
didn't play 80.
No,
Yeah, right,
Someone
right.
came on at the back end.
Okay.
Yeah, fair. Curtis Morrow's not relevant.
He did dive at the line like 4 times, so I wonder if it was hooking to just get JC the ball or whether it was a...
I mean, he did score from one of them, to be fair to the kids, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, he looked good. Tino, geez, he's looking good. Again, another guy peaking right in time for Origin. Another tough buy because the Titans missed 13, so it's 12, 13, 15, 18 if you were to buy him. But he's looking good. He's finally got his minutes back and he's looking nice and confident. Jaden Campbell. How are you feeling about Mr. Campbell?
Well, I thought this was one of his better games out of the last 3 or 4. It just looked like he was running the footy a bit more. I'm not sure if stats actually back that up, but eye test, it felt like that. And it felt like he was taking the line on more. Obviously, it's not the Jaden Campbell. I said Jaden Sharp. Jaden Campbell that we know and love. That's just punching up all these big scores. He's probably not tackle breaking as much as I'd like, but at least he's running the footy now. And it felt like he just was a passenger in the Titans side for the last 2 or 3 games. So yeah, I'm relatively happy.
Optimistic.
Optimistic, yeah, that's probably the word.
I was looking at a side grade from potentially James Tedesco to him. I don't know. It's not the road.
When you say a side grade, that's going to make you like 250k.
Yeah, true. I forgot how cheap he was, especially with that massive break even. But plays 12 and 15, good cover. Probably the one of the Titans players I'd actually want.
Going to get Joel 5'8" in 18 anyway, so if you bring him in early, then you can just swap him down
Fair.
eventually.
Yep.
Yeah, only deterrent is that round 13 bye would mean I'd probably have to play Sanders for a week, but you could do it.
Big up, Ethan. All right, and the only other guy from the Titans really is Bo Fermel, who you bought in this week. 52. It's okay. It's okay from Bo.
Base was down.
Base was down. We got 44 in base power compared to, what was it, in the 70s in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, about that.
So it is down, but, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it persists with good old Bo. You're happy with him for coverage anyway.
Yeah.
Warriors thrash the Broncos 42-12. I mean, we talked about this. We haven't actually talked about it on there. Geez, the refereeing from that game was absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't get a call right for either side. They just ruined the flow of the game the entire time. It was not a good spectacle.
And it probably sounds really salty coming from Broncos fans, but wholeheartedly, we thought some of the calls that the Broncos got,
Both sides.
for them, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just horrendous.
It was bad.
Actually, Klein basically breathing through his whistle at that point.
That's good. I've never heard that one before. That's good. Yeah, Dallin scored 2 tries for 100. I mean, Dallin does this. He gets a 20 and then he gets 100. So no one's really looking at him. Aaron Clark, I mentioned him on the stat spotlight. I think we talked about him on air maybe a little bit. He's just looking good. He's scored a lot more tries and getting a lot more assists this year compared to last year. I'm unsure if that's good or bad, but he's getting points either way. So, and I think now with Barnett off to Origin, he might get a bigger role, maybe.
Yeah, potentially.
So I could maybe have a look at him. Tamari Martin, 81 points in 74 minutes after Tanner Boyd went off. 33 in base. I think he got 2 assists. Yep, and he scored a try.
Assists, yeah.
So, I mean, he's cost, what, 235k at 5'8"? If he keeps this form up.
Well, if he has a spot, though.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see what happens there with Metcalf.
If he's in there, well, definitely.
Yeah, that will be interesting. Ford did poorly, but I don't think anyone's panicking on him now that he hasn't been selected. I mean, I think if anything, he's going to get traded in.
And
He's
Barn-
going to be sold.
Especially with Barnett now playing, it means he has a starting spot.
Yeah, he'll
and
play
will just
80
play
again.
80,
He'll
or
definitely
close to.
It feels hard to believe he's not going to play 80 for the Origin weeks. I bought in Halasima. He was mid. And now I kind of wish I didn't buy him because I've got such good coverage. But that's all right. I think that's it from the Waz. The Broncos, tell you what, speaking of Supercoach irrelevant teams, the Broncos at the moment are so icky.
Yeah.
Look, there's no points going around here.
Yeah.
The best was Carrigan,
He got Simbin as well.
who got Simbin, which is, honestly, it's unbelievable. He still got 67. Willison was good for you. Reynolds scored those 2 tries. What did we say Reynolds was on at halftime? Did we say 2 or 1 or?
I think it was
I might have been
one.
I think it was on 1 at halftime. So those 2 tries bailing him out.
No, was it negative, genuine -1? Because it was you were made a comment about him being lower than the benches.
Maybe I did.
Yeah.
Whatever it was not good. The Broncos just don't have anyone I'm eyeing up at the moment at all, personally, apart from maybe a Reese. Now, that he hasn't been picked for Origin, but, I mean, I'm going to have to actually see it from Reece first, to be honest.
Yeah.
You will honestly get Reece for in the 5s, but I will say that a round 13 matchup against St.
Dragons.
George and a round 14 against the Titans, people would be licking their lips, surely.
Yeah, that is interesting, that, to be honest. Yeah. But yeah,
Food for thought. They don't play this week, so you can have a bit of a think about
definitely. And then final game of the round, Panthers-Dragons, another soulless game.
Yeah.
Absolute dry as a bone. Jenkins scored 2. IPAP scored 1. They both got centuries. Toby Couchman is so painful how good he is. 75 minutes, 84 in base for his 94. That one hurts bad. That's fine. We'll get over it. I know Ben's thinking about Toby Couchman this week.
I am. I have Simi still, so I'm looking for a second rower. I've tossed a couple of names up there.
It's going to cost $680. So it's not even that terrible.
Yeah, obviously that's still money back from going Simi down. My fear around it is Luch will not stay on the bench forever. He was one of their best players for the first, I don't know, however many weeks it was, maybe 8. It does push Hamish Stewart back to the middle, which pushes Ryan Couchman likely to the bench. It's all going to work a little bit differently, but I still think he's pretty guaranteed for 60 minutes, and he's been pumping out absolute scores in that time. So definitely food for thought there for me.
I think he's worth consideration.
I only cover this week, though. And is it 19 as well, I think?
They missed 15-19.
Yeah, so not the greatest buy coverage player, but, I mean, I could see him just getting him at 2RF and holding him for the entire season. Feels like you know what you're getting there.
Yeah, he seems decent. McLean was okay. Cleary saved owners at the end from a very, very disappointing score. I mean, it's still not good. People were talking about like 150s. He got 77. Penrith just didn't step on the gas for the entire game because they didn't really need to.
They literally just played classic Panthers ball, which was just bore the opponents to death, basically.
Pretty much. For the Dragons, my boy Tuapolotu scored a try, 35 in base. I think he got some tackle busts in there as well. It may be happening. I'll have to have a look at it because I don't know if I'll need to do it necessarily. But yeah, 360K for Tuapolotu feels like good value to me.
It does feel like a pretty solid Taylor May downgrade, considering his price. You gain an arm and a leg back off that.
That's what it would be. And Satu2's continued to be solid while I've held him, which is nice. Ryan Couchman, another one. Ryan Couchman and Lasati. Just absolute gifts from the heavens this season.
Yeah.
Been absolutely unbelievable the whole time.
Cash is flowing this year. It's so good.
Flowing. And Daniel Atkinson got 27. Good on you, Daniel. I think that's basically it for this game. I think that's basically it for the round. Round 11 done, into the Origin bye period. 5 games a weekend.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Bit disappointing.
Oh, well, that is us for the week, everybody. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of a different reaction episode today with obviously the classic yarn at the start, then obviously looking at the Origin teams. But hopefully you still enjoyed it. May your arrows be green as you look at your Supercoach page at, I don't know, midday, 1 p.m.,
5
2
p.m.,
p.m., 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically it from us. Anything else to say?
I just say, I know there's probably a bit of conjecture around who to trade this week. There's some probably players, people looking for some things. We'll probably touch on that on our Thursday podcast some more. But yeah, if you do have any questions at all about who to get for buy coverage, drop them through. I mean, I have some players in mind. I'm sure both of you two have some similar players that we're sort of thinking of. So we'd be more than happy to have a bit of a discussion, give you a list of players we'd be thinking about at certain positions. So yeah, feel free to drop a little comment on the Insta or the Spotify or the YouTube, or just private messages on Insta is probably the best way to get the best feedback. So yeah.
Love it. Thanks, everyone. Have a good week.